at this point in their life.
Yeah.
It's not like they've...
Their life's just dying.
Yeah, they've not hurt anyone. They've not done anything to deserve this. They're at the point in their lives where anything is possible, and you get people like this taking that away from them.
Yeah. Fucking sucks.
Though the bodies were still being discarded beside highways, many of the victims were now stuffed into trash bags, sometimes left in dumpsters and discovered only when the bags tore during being picked up. Can I just ask, how were they fitting into trash bags?
I guess these are little kids, right? If you fold them up and shit.
Yeah, that so he obviously has broken like bones and things like that as well.
Possibly post-mortem. I don't know. I think until rigor mortis sets in, the body's usually quite floppy, right?
Yeah,
so you could probably float them. I don't know how fucking big the trash bags are either, to be honest with you. A total of 9 deaths are confirmed throughout 1976, perhaps with untold others consigned to dumps, compactors, and incinerators. So 9 in 1976 from what we know of. The police thought they'd actually found their killer at one point. And this is an interesting little thing. A person who we may actually do at some point in the podcast, but I'll probably leave it a good few episodes away from this one so we don't have too much of a crossover, or we kind of forget.
Okay.
In 1977, the surrender and arrest of another serial killer called Patrick Kearney had the police thinking that Patrick and Randy were one in the same. What a coinkydink that there was 2 serial killers in the same area at the same time. Fuck, the 70s was a right hoot.
Yeah.
It was fucking right. 70s and 1960s and 1970s America.
It seems that that's
crazy for serial killers, right?
With like serial killers around about then, serial killers were like all over the place. Then nowadays you don't really hear them that much.
There definitely are still serial killers out there, but I think the idea behind it was that this is all, in that era, 60s, 70s, this is prior to, this is a sort of pre-Mind Hunters, so it's like before the CSI, crime scene stuff, before criminal profiling really got to a height. And also a lot back in the day, the police, this is obviously a unique one where all the police people do sort of link in, but it wasn't, I don't believe it was common for the police officers to link in with other police officers around the countries.
We see it in movies all the time, don't we, where it's like, if it's not in their jurisdiction, they just leave it.
Yeah, not in my jurisdiction. That's not in my jurisdiction. Yeah, get out of my jurisdiction. So yeah, the 70s seems like a rampant place for this sort of shit. We'll have to look into that more, because I'm sure there is more information in regards to that somewhere. But yeah, so they thought Randy and Patrick were exactly the same. They even disposed of the bodies along the highways in trash bags in a similar way. So that's the similar way that Randy had started doing.
Yeah.
However, Patrick Kearney's victims were typically killed instantly by being shot in the head, behind the ear, I believe. I believe he was... I won't tell you too much, because
don't tell us too much.
You'll go into this one too much. And when it was discussed about the torture and all the things that Randy had done, apparently he audibly balked when officers mentioned it. So even he sort of thought like the sound of what had been going on was fucking gross. The police would of course be proven wrong in their theory, as the murders still continued while Patrick was in jail.
Right, okay.
More than a dozen male corpses were found along Southern California freeways in 1979. The victims ranging in age from 13 to 24. Only a few were able to be identified by the police. Throughout Southern California, gay bars began to post warnings for their customers, along with photos seeking information to identify the unknown or John Doe victims, as they were called.
You know what, though? Imagine just walking into a gay bar and you see all these like warning posters. I would be shit scared.
You would be shitting yourself. And also, the fact that he went to a lot of these gay bars, like, you could be literally sat looking at the poster of this missing kid, talking about it, while stood directly in front or next to the guy who's fucking killed him. Spooky stuff, right?
It's horrible.
Randy Kraft was doing well for himself. So he's actually quite successful because obviously, like I say, he's traveling. As you may have noticed, he's traveling a lot in a car, which isn't cheap. He was making it around £50,000 a year. This is in the early 80s, so this is a fucking ton. Him and Jeff is living lava. Even bought a house on Long Beach, which I believe that's quite a fancy place, right?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
They also travelled widely to Mexico, Lake Tahoe, and then an East Coast tour from New York City to Key West. And Randy also travelled a lot for work. It's weird because I wonder, I mean, they also planned a trip to the UK at one point, which didn't turn out. But don't worry, it's before we were born.
I know, but still.
It's not now. But yeah, like, you just wonder, like, if this guy's got this money, he's travelling the world. Especially, I just wonder how many people he's actually killed.
Has he killed anybody in Mexico? Or
yeah,
anything
you wouldn't know, because, like, they could just, you know, a one-off killing.
Yeah.
Then it's gone. No evidence, no trace.
Ugh.
Fucking spooky.
Because he could easily just change his MO if he's like in a different country or something.
Or just keep it the same, because like I say, this is the late 70s, early 80s, and these people just didn't communicate very well with each other, so... And it's not like it's their fault. I don't think technology was there.
No, yeah.
So a little few list of some more victims as well. I'm not going to be overly gratuitous with too many of them. Michael Sean O'Fallon. He had apparently hoped to see the world after high school. Was hitchhiking and made it back to Oregon just before he met with Randy. In 1980, September 3rd, a few children playing near El Toro Marine Air Base found the corpse of a 19-year-old Marine in a garbage bag. Michael Dwayne Cluck was the first victim who we know of in 1981. He was also hitchhiking from Seattle to California in April. Again, he made it into Oregon just before he accepted a ride with Randy and was dumped along the I-5. There's too many of these. This one's like
have you got like an overall count? Because I actually can't even
lost count of them. I have got an overall count at the end. But the reason why I wanted to mention these is because when I was reading through and I was reading the names, it really hit me. Like, if someone says to you a number, you go, boom, the number.
Yeah.
For me, at least, it might have a bigger effect on other people, but if someone says to me, like, 16, you go, okay, 16. But when you start hearing the individual people's names about them, when you start attributing an actual human life to each number, I think it gives it more gravity, and it gives it more of an impact, and it sort of hits you more, which was kind of my goal.
No, I completely agree with you there in that one.
Apart from that, there was 6 more murders throughout 1981 to 1982. The death toll continued to mount in 1983, with a further 4 murders taking place that year. See, there's so much death happening with this guy. Oregon police recognized a pattern in the murders at this point, so they're getting somewhere. They have a little hunchy-hoo. So the Oregon police secured information from Southern California, where other victims had been drugged and strangled over the past decade. So this is where people were starting to work a bit more together at this point. I mean,
they would have more technology as well, wouldn't they?
Maybe a little bit more, but also, fuck it, you need to do something about this shit, because this has been going on for far too fucking long.
Yeah.
A computer search of airline records, hotel ledgers, and rental car companies was initiated, seeking frequent visitors from California. Randy Kraft's name would appear 18 times on the final list. So they were searching everything they could. People had been in hotels, people had rented cars, where people were going from, who was going where, and to see any familiar names pop up.
Yeah.
Here's 18 times, which is more than the 16 plus which he is apparently meant to have killed, right?
Yeah, of course.
But before the investigators even had a chance to look into their lead, on a seemingly normal Saturday night in Orange County, Randy Kraft would be arrested for drink driving. And all know...
this is where that
turned out.
Right.
So, the police finally get their rearing gear. A little bit late in the game, in my opinion. And just before they actually have the opportunity to have the sort of shiny moment, as you will, look how great our investigation was, we tracked him down, and something like that, he just, pure coincidence, happens to get arrested for drunk driving.
What a dick.
Very, very big dick. Very big dick. So after finding Randy with Terry's body in the car, as we mentioned at the start, they moved in on the home that he shared with his boyfriend. There they uncovered a treasure trove of evidence. A couch in the living room was the same one used to pose several of the nude models in the Polaroid collection they found in his car. An old yellow rug in the house appeared to match certain fibres that were retrieved from a corpse found in A.I.M in 1978. In his garage, police found an odd collection of mismatched belts, chains, shoelaces, and clothing. One of the jackets belonged to a Michigan murder victim who Randy had killed in December 1982.
Can I stop you here? Right. If all this evidence is in the house,
yep.
Where was his boyfriend?
This is where we will perhaps theorize towards the end, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Right. Yep.
In days to come, detectives would identify 3 more California murder victims depicted in his Polaroids. So it looks quite bad if you've got, a whole bunch of pictures there, and most of the guys in them have died somehow. Looks kind of fishy. It looks a little fishy. His fingerprints would also match those found on shards of broken glass at another murder scene in December 1975. Randy was initially charged with just the one murder to start with, which was Jerry's, who he was in the car with. Because that's all they had 100% evidence on, I guess. But as the trial went on and more evidence piled up against him, it was evident that he had committed more. He was finally convicted of 16 accounts in total and 1 account each of sodomy, which I don't get. I don't get that. Why not rape? Why sodomy? I know it's the times, but come on, people. There's a lot of people in... I won't get too far into it, but there's a lot of people in Western countries who call other countries very, they think of them as like animals and things for the way that they treat people. Listen, we are not that far distant from when we were like that ourselves.
Yep.
It's still fresh for us, so we can't be getting on our high horse and calling other people. I mean, yeah, it's bad, but we just need to realize that we're not the angels of this story by no means, especially the British. Fuck, we killed a lot of people. Not me, but the British. Anyway, that's my little rant over. Yeah, so he gets charged with 16 accounts. And he gets also for the fucking sodomy. But fuck the sodomy. I mean, do it as rape. Do it rape. Charge him for fucking rape, because that's what it was.
Either way, it's an extra sentence onto him.
Yeah, I guess.
Either way.
But it's not right. It's sort of,
in
my eyes, what that does to me is it puts the victim in
it criminalizes.
It makes them as in like, oh, it was like a voluntary thing for them, which is fucking stupid. That's not what that was. That was a rape. It wasn't an act of sodomy. It wasn't 2 consensual adults. That was a fucking rape. Yeah, again, ran over. So 16 accounts in total, but the piece of yellow paper found in his car. Do you remember the yellow paper found in his car? You remember the paper that was in his car?
No, I can't remember the paper. You mentioned about the Polaroids and the blood on the seats and stuff.
Okay. Well, I mentioned the paper. The piece of it was the yellow paper put on like the lower pad or whatever it was. The piece of paper was a score.